losing my grip. Storage costs rising, they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game. The algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. The comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursement? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the runaround. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. The reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASIN's down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Isn't this song great, everybody?
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller Central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it popping, you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Click, scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell a day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope. Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. Upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell the day. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain.
Happy Friday to you too, Sniper.
Laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then try to sell, now
McCoy,
she's stuck in a
I'm
thriller.
excited to see you too, my friend.
Yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Sample suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stack, customers
What's up, Connie?
pissed. Man, I'm under
Good to see
attack.
ya.
Amazon's
Hi,
a
all.
beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark wars, brand registries a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm
Gab,
in
hi
a
to you
jam.
too, my
Listings
friend.
yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations,
Dude,
worksheets
our
for
music
control.
drop is
Excel's my
legit.
new weapon,
No
but it's
question,
taking its
Cooney.
toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. All
My
text,
favorite
A
song
plus
is the
content,
Seller Support
playing
sucks.
insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low. All products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat.
Let's go to Max School. To Max School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope.
They got the SAP, cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe, helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalog, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you'd think we studied at Max School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden rule. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using Helium-10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the back end to the bullets, optimization hits the skies. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. All text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the Urso Pete, so
Going
sellers
live
learn
in a
to
minute.
teach.
Get your questions in now to those comments.
On the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth. Let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe when support says call Mag. They'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway.
Jeez
Bezos,
Louise.
hit me up
What
if
a
you wanna
line.
sell seller support. I'm buying. There's a chase. Peace.
What a line indeed.
Jeez,
Welcome
Louise.
everybody to the Friday live Q&A with special guest Mr. Stephen Pope today. We're gonna
Hello.
Yeah, you like the new music upgrade there?
Yeah, the music upgrade. I know it's AI music, but that's pretty good, legit stuff. So shout out to Stephen Bruning, our AI guru, who made all of those tracks. My personal favorite, Solar Support Sucks. That one goes without any explanation, no notes on my part. It just stands on its own. But image stack sucking. Oof, that was a good line.
I like the reach out to my Amazon guy. That one's my
Yeah.
favorite. It works
Yeah.
really well.
I mean, the brand name does go well in a rap disc drop, so we'll go with that. Well, super excited to talk to everybody today. So we got lots of people in the comments already. If you want to get your Q&A in, today is the day to do it. Ask any question in the comment section. CUNY says, hi all, nice music. Viper says, hi Noah, happy Friday. McCoy says, hey, looking forward to seeing Steven. This is my first time I'm going to do a full show on our own live AMA in a year. Basically,
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a while since I've had you on. Even last time, it was only for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing the whole thing here. Zeb says, hi, hello to you too. And I'm excited to jump in. So Noah, since this is technically your show now, how would you like to begin, sir?
Let's hop right on in. I have been deathly ill this week, so if anyone hears my very raspy voice,
I'll be doing more talking, and I'm guessing that's why you invited me to come on. It's just
a little bit. I messaged Steven last night at like 9 o'clock or so. I was like, hey, you want to do this?
Yeah. Can we start with Viper's question? This was my favorite in the pre questions here. All right. So Viper asks, how do we talk to our ad agency brand managers to make sure we aren't overspending daily? And I'm guessing their current client, the way that they reference this. So whether you're a MAG client or not, this is great advice. The first thing that I would do is I would check the ad history report. So that is log into Seller Central and just simply go check the history of changes. Now, if you're a MAG client, you're going to see a huge amount of changes on a weekly basis. It should make you feel very good. If you're not a MAG client, whether you manage this yourselves or you have some ad agency there, if you don't see bid changes, campaigns created, negations added, those sort of activities in that section, it won't matter what you tell your agency or ad manager about your spend limit if they're not actually making changes, right? So that's why the way I'm answering your question, Viper, is to switch your target here, because instead of just trying to go for like a general, like I want my ACOS 32%, I think it's better to look at the activity report and then ask the questions. Why aren't you adding negations? Why aren't you creating new campaigns? We got Black Friday in 2 weeks. How many campaigns are you going to be creating for that? And talking strategically about the activity levels that are occurring on the account. So that's how I would tackle this. In your verbal communications with brand managers at MAG or your current internal team, however you're doing it, I would just simply make sure you understand how much we're spending, how frequently they're making changes, what are the goals of those changes. Do we have a new product launch coming up? Does it have its campaigns created? Are we adding weekly negations and auto campaigns? Are we creating a new exact match campaign for SEO strategies? Although I like broad match better, you should have some exact matches as well, and things like that. So that's my take there. Hopefully that's helpful, Viper. And Noah, do you want to cue the next one up? Noah living the Christmas vibes. Yeah, he does the holidays quite well.
Yeah, I got my Christmas all set up this year. I got the tree. I got the skeleton mag over there is doing well.
You upgraded.
Let's hop right in. I did that. You like the little reindeer there? That can pop off as well.
I'm guessing your favorite movie during Christmas time is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Surprisingly, no. I'm a Christmas Vacation guy.
Classic. All right,
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
All right, let's do Zeb. So can we get a strike-through pricing on Amazon along with other coupon that is running, or do we need to take care of that coupon fast and then enter the sale price and left price to get this strike-through? You can do strike-through and coupon at the same time, but it actually changed to where now you have to allow coupon stacking comparatively to beforehand, where essentially you would just have them both at the same time. But you can do them both, or you can choose one or the other. You just have to enable the actual stacking feature on Coupon.
I do not believe discounts affect conversion rate as much as people think they do. I think a price reduction is more effective, and I definitely would not stack a coupon and a promo code or a discount at the same time. List price, the best way to trigger a list price, which isn't technically part of your question, but I would recommend you focus on it, is to basically dynamically change your price from time to time. So the call out from Amazon, this is the lowest this ASIN's price has been in 30 days, is significantly more powerful than a coupon, way better than a promo code, etc. So, I don't think you should rely upon coupons and promo codes, but I do think you should frequently change your pricing. At bare minimum, if you haven't changed your prices in 90 days, change the price. I don't even care if it's up or down, just change it. And Noah, question for you: do you use any key lights like these?
I do.
Okay, because you're a little darker than I am. I'm just curious.
I think it's since I put the tree in. I'm gonna have to change the lighting in here at some point, but I have them on. You can see the difference here.
Oh, that is different. Okay, all right. It is better than I thought it was, but just had to ask. All right. So that's the strike through pricing question.
Strike through pricing question. Let's pop over to Jeff. Jeff, friend of the channel for a long time. You want to read through this one, Steven?
Yeah, Jeff, I remember you, first of all. I have multiple good selling supplements that have small and large size listings, not parented together. That may be good, that may be bad. There's no comment from me on that. Selling well for many years. Now, all of the large items have lost the buy box. Oof. Can't locate any lower prices off Amazon. Is Amazon forcing me to set up a parentage? No, definitely not. How best to analyze and fix any good web scraping software you recommend to check off Amazon price? First thing I would do is I would Google the UPC code. We frequently have people say, it's not lower somewhere off the price. And I'll take 3 seconds. I'll Google the UPC code and I'll be like, what about this? And it's on Walmart, or it's on Target, or it's on Home Depot. So Googling the UPC code, fastest way to do this. I'm not really a big fan of the necessity of web scraping tools outside or even inside of Amazon. So I don't necessarily think that is beneficial here. But if you're having that kind of level of trouble, I would press Amazon to give you the reason for the buy box loss. They will tell you if you press them, and a call-in is highly recommended because they'll tell you more than what is showing in the Seller Central account. Noah, you want to add anything?
No, the UPC check is the biggest one there that I typically would look at, right? The secondary thing as well that, you didn't mention, Jeff, but if you have a UPC that is not a GS1 that you ever purchase, that's going to be like your biggest issue there, and you need to get changed over to GS1 like ASAP.
We got Steven in the house today, says Eric. Thank you very much for noticing. Theo says, amazing advice. Abdul says, hello, how are you? I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. How are you doing, Abdul? All right, what else we got? Let's go to the next question.
Let's go.
We do prioritize member questions. If you guys haven't become a member yet, feel free to sign up.
This one's for you.
And channel donations, also a good way to jump the line. We got 40 live viewers today. It'll usually peak around 60 or 70. Zeb says, hi, Steven, I need your help with a review sync issue. These are always fun. My Australia listing has 28 Vine reviews. He cheated them in with a 4-point-star parentage cheat. But after using Bill for the USA marketplace, the US listing only shows 20 reviews with a 4.2 rating. Amazon support hasn't been able to help or explain why the reviews aren't fully syncing. Zeb, I will bet you a free coaching call that this will fix your issue. Make sure that the UPC code or EAN is listed in the GTIN code section of both marketplaces. Here is my guess. In one of those marketplaces, it's listing the ASIN, or it's not syncing the two GTINs to the same UPC code. That is almost always the solution to this problem. If it's not that, you'll have a free coaching call on me to figure it out.
See, you have a different answer than I had because Zeb asked this before, and my thought was I didn't think about the GTIN. My thought immediately was improper and unallowed reviews within different marketplaces. But granted, that's usually a Canada to US thing.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen.
Yeah, it's not Australia to this, but I like the GTIN approach.
I've just seen that issue a lot, and it's almost always fixed because of that. I had a lot of European sellers that wanted to sync them, and then they told me they use different UPC codes in Europe, and I'm just like, well,
why would you do
that? Sorry, guys, this is impossible to solve. And they're like, well, we use different products because it's got it's a different electrical system over there. And I'm like, I get it, guys, but if you want reviews to sync, use the same UPC code.
Different electrical system, different product at the end of the day.
McCoy998 says we see a big discrepancy between our profit analytics dashboard for monthly storage fees and the monthly storage fee report. Also, capacity manager, CM to the third times average CM to the third cost indicates a lower amount. Actually, don't know how to help McCoy.
Yeah, how did they even get that in there? The comments
in the dashboard, is the dashboard inaccurate? Is there any invoice of the list of the exact amount we paid for storage? So I do know that answer. And I would say that the dashboard, look at the dates would be my first suspicion. You need to look at date matchup. So if the dashboard has a different date, that would obviously explain the discrepancy. The invoice report should be the Bible. That's the one that you can hang your hat on. And that's the one that Amazon is actually sending out fees and charges and all that good stuff. There are a lot of reports inside of Seller Central, many that some people have never looked at before. So just go into Seller Central, look down at the fee report, export it, look at the filter drop down, and you should be able to get a starting point on this. And then it's just a date question. And I'm wondering if maybe the dashboard is just delayed. That's my best guess on this one.
Yeah, the other area that they also can do at this point is that the payments report repository, you can actually get a line by line breakdown for every single fee you have been charged. So if you're essentially trying to find the exact amount you're being done, it's going to take a little bit, obviously, Excel magic there, but you can get just a data breakdown of every single individual fee you've been charged on the account.
Zeb says, good to see Steve and Noah together. I agree. He is my brother from another mother. So,
hey, at least they're spelling our names correctly today. Actually, you might get to see that for the first time. All of the misspellings that they tend to do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he did call me Steve. That's what my mom calls me. So I go by Steven, but that's all right. It's all right. Maybe it's my mom. Who knows? Probably not. She doesn't know how to turn a computer on anymore. So I wish I was kidding. Mike says, for better conversion in Black Friday and Cyber Monday, can we run campaigns on search terms which we get from the Product Opportunity Explorer? If yes, how many days can we run the campaigns? So here is the best part about Black Friday into Christmas traffic. Keywords that didn't work on Thursday, Thanksgiving, will magically start working on Thanksgiving. Black Friday, excuse me. And so throw out all of your past historical reports, and you do need to test new things, because you might have had a 70% ACOS on a keyword on a Thursday, and then Friday rolls around and it's a 10% ACOS. And this throws people off every year. And this is why you need to make new campaigns with new keywords. And I absolutely would endorse testing keywords from the Product Opportunity Explorer. Would I make products Amazon ask for? No, probably not. But would I use keywords they suggest? Yes. At least in $100 here, $100 there kind of testing methodology. I also like the search query performance report for keyword targeting. And we like to use the ICAP methodology: impressions, clicks, add to carts, and purchases. And so that's where you take a look at like where you're winning lots of clicks. If you're winning a high proportion of clicks, your clicks are higher percentage-wise for your product versus the number of impressions. That is like almost a guarantee you're underspending on advertising, and should create new campaigns using those keywords, whether they're from the Product Opportunity Explorer or the Search Query Performance Report. These are very valuable to test in the holiday campaign structures. Nobody wants to work that weekend. And so my recommendation is schedule these campaigns to run Friday, Black Friday into Monday, Cyber Monday. When you get back into the office, check them, and then make evasive maneuvers from there, right? Because if you want to take down the Death Star this year, you got to get into the TIE fighter, and you gotta be, well, not the TIE fighter, unless you're Darth Vader and you're turning on the Emperor at the last second. But that's, we're mixing themology here. Long story short, test campaigns, keywords good.
Agree. The other aspect I think there as well, make sure when you get back in to turn off those old ones, essentially, or turn them down. It's a big thing that people think that magically, yes, on Black Friday, you will get major traffic on certain keywords. That does not mean it's going to stay major traffic going into the next week. Unfortunately, it just is new people on the platform, basically.
Rosina says, hi, thank you for today's live show. You're very welcome. I get the sense from Zeb his UPCs match. Can you confirm that, Zeb, that they already match? Because I'm curious if I just gave you a free coaching call to figure it out. We'll find out. We'll find out the story to this one. All right, you want to grab the next question from the line there? Feel free.
Let's see. Viper's asking, do you guys have TikTok shop set up? Not at the moment. No. It is something potentially on the horizon we've been looking at. I'm a vehement, not exactly a hater of TikTok shop, but I just think it's been overblown in the last year, in the sense that I typically see TikTok shop performing really, really well if you can meet at least two of these three criteria. Either one, be a really well-known name brand. Two, you have essentially a disposable budget where you can just put thousands of dollars into UGC content and advertising for at least 6 months. And three, be unprofitable for at least 6 months with any form of advertising you're doing on TikTok shop. Otherwise, you're just going to die out. The glory of Amazon is that you have a ranking and you're always going to show under certain searches. TikTok shop doesn't have that. The second that you stop publishing content, the second you stop trying to do advertising at all, you are irrelevant on the platform. There's not an easy way to find products on the platform. So it's one of those that it's like you constantly have to funnel that. And so we're looking as maybe a potential in the future for if you're able to meet a couple categories or you really want it. But right now we don't have anything.
So I'll give the exception to what Noah said, and that is the bootstrapping guy who is $20,000 a month on Amazon, and they're looking for what they can do next. TikTok shop is a no-brainer for someone like that to test. It just doesn't make sense to hire an agency to do it, most likely, because of the incremental gains that come from it. But it's very much a hot or not. Like it's a winner take all poker style environment. And so you could post 10 videos and all of them do nothing, or you could post one single video and you get 10 million hits. And so because of that, it's not reliable, but it could very much take a no-name brand and put them on the face of the earth.
Yeah, and I think the bigger aspect there as well is this idea that product type, I think, matters so much more on something like TikTok shop, just because it's, at the end of the day, it's a very social media friendly platform, right? And so it's going to be very trend friendly.
Mag channel member Rosina asks, for new sellers, Amazon is advertising. Get 10% back on your first 50,000 in branded sales. Is it a 10% deducted from referral fee, or is it 10% refunded back separately? I don't know the answer to this one. Do you know it?
Yeah, it's 10% reduction referral fees. So you don't actually get it technically as the deduction immediately. So you actually do see that you will have the normal referral fee, and then they just credit it back to you anytime they're going to do a charge. So you can actually see under, for instance, like your statement view in the payments dashboard. It'll show up under there as essentially an additional credit.
Cooney says, what tools do you use for profit tracking? From Germany, we're using Sellerboard, but the data is not correct all the time. Do you have a better tool? I hear really good things about Sellerboard. Seller Central also gives you a lot of profit tracking that you couldn't do previously. You have to load your COGS into Seller Central now anyway. And that's because if you don't, when they lose your inventory, they'll assign one for you if you don't. So it's kind of a necessary evil. Not that I want to give Amazon all of my data, but if you don't, then it kind of hurts now. And so there's a necessary evil there. But I wouldn't say I would endorse any tool better than Sellerboard. What about you, Noah?
I'd agree. I mean, Sellerboard's going to be the go-to in my opinion. For the most part, I do like Amazon's new profit tracking, and same thing though. I don't like giving Amazon my data historically. So,
and as an agency, we use Merchant Spring, but the profit tracking element is probably better in seller board from a brand standpoint.
Also, just a cheaper aspect as well. Seller board, Merchant Spring isn't going to be accessible, I think, for majority of just like single one-off brands.
I agree. Feel free to queue up the next one. Mike says, can we use the Christmas type keywords in titles or campaigns for upcoming events, or should we use that near Christmas? And I would say the second Black Friday is here is when I think it's 100% okay to do all of that. If you do it early, it won't necessarily be even remotely as effective, which could affect the campaign success metrics, which would then make it harder to get impressions later. So I would schedule all of that Black Friday morning of personally.
Agree. Let's see. Cooney here says, does completing a large number of backend attributes have any measurable impact on Amazon SEO performance, indexing depth,
Yes,
or keyword ranking stability? Absolutely, yes.
100% yes, and often immediate. And sometimes it gets down a little bit, like you'll see it like dip down, and then after 3 days it'll spike up. And so all of that is normal behavior, which is why you shouldn't make 2 changes 2 days in a row. You should let it sit so you can measure it and then make adjustments from there. But often the case, we'll see immediate performance gains 8-9 times out of 10. And in the 1 out of 10 times it doesn't, we'll wait a week or 2 before we make a further adjustment, because frequently that 1 out of 10 instance where it starts to go down, dips, ends up going up after time anyway. And so just be careful with pulling the plug too quickly on SEO changes because of that.
Yeah, the SEO side definitely. And I always encourage people to, if there is a backend attribute that you have the data for, just update it, because there is zero reason not to essentially have it in there at any point in time. Megan asks, are you guys seeing the frequently returned badge pop up more often for your clients? I have a few items where it popped up or they've been flagged at risk and the return rate is low, 5% or less. I'm not hearing this from clients. The one thing though, Megan, is the frequently returned badge is based not off of necessarily your own return percentage. It is, of course, but it is also based off of what the average within your product category is. And so even if you're at 1-2%, if that's above your average, you're going to get that badge.
And so like somebody with shoes might have a 20% return rate, and you won't see that badge because you're at 19. 19 seems high, but it's compared to the 20, it's good. And so your 5% might be twice as high as somebody's 2.5. Now, do they tell you which products they compare you against? No. But if you take your product category and go look at the top 100, you got a pretty good idea. And that's how I would analyze that one in particular.
Bingo.
The other thing you could do is put product inserts or sell into the objections to lower your return risk and in the secondary images. So whatever negative thing is cited as the return reason, it's too small, it's too big, the color is not right, sell into that objection wherever possible.
Yeah, always within your infographics as well on the listing. Eric, we have a question about English and French in Canada market. Do you translate and post in bullets and description, or allow customers to choose language default?
I don't see a large impact here, but it can be done. It's just more work. But keep in mind, Canada is the size of New York. And then if you look at just the French market, it's like the size of like New Jersey, right? So it's a lot of work to do that translation work. And the automations that Amazon has are quite frankly sufficient, I think, for customers. So, if you're really big in Canada, have at it. Or if you're over in Germany and you're trying to get everything, done and you're creative and your A+ content, I would go take the extra mile, but not too concerned here. I would, however, mention though, that you should be using the alt text of A+ content to have Spanish in the United States in at least one photo, and probably French in at least one photo for Canada as well.
Heavy agree. Megan, again, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll read the questions to save your voice now. Amazon wants me to be at a 3.9% return rate. Seems extremely unrealistic given in general e-commerce returns tend to be much higher than that. I understand Amazon plays by their own rules and doesn't care. Yeah, nothing really further to add here. There's not a lot you can do besides selling into those return objections to try and lower it organically. But other than that, if you're at 5% and their target's 3.9, that's really rough.
Yeah, she has a secondary part here.
These items have a 4.7 or above star rating. The listing and images look great. Mag did it for me. I always love hearing that. Thanks for the endorsement. So I'm not sure what else I can do. How long can I expect those badges to stay on my listings? Potentially permanently, unfortunately, until the return rate drops down. The good news is during Christmas, return rates will be low. The bad news, as soon as January 5th rolls around, they'll probably come back because that's when return rates spike.
Yeah. And well, on top of that, it's one of those that any type of return, I believe it's a 60-day window, if I'm not mistaken, right? That they keep that. Yeah. So it's one of those that, unfortunately, they extend that window for returns as well to January 30th during the season.
Hazen says, I have almost 1,000 products of my brand. That's a lot. And only 150 of them are enrolled in BFCM, because others don't have the reference prices because they never sell good as they are expensive products. Part two? No?
Yes.
All right. What alternative discounts should I apply to promote them? How should I target them in PPC? Is it a single auto campaign for all of them? Good. Those are water filters and are not the same. So first of all, I would use SKU targets in the manual keyword targeting for those products. Make sure the SKU is in the title. You probably have that covered. We have a lot of what I call aftermarket parts brands that we work with. Some that have worked with us for 4 or 5 years, and the best PPC campaigns are usually SKU focused. So an auto campaign is okay. The problem is that an auto campaign may or may not pull the SKU reference. The manufacturer part number is another way to phrase that. So I would create a dedicated ad group for each SKU by ASIN to make sure that comes up, because that's honestly how 95% of these products are going to be found. I don't think your brand is necessary to have all 1,000 products in dedicated discounting programs for Black Friday weekend. It's really not what people are shopping for. It's an add-on item. They're going to buy it when they happen to be on Amazon. So no concerns for me there. But I would really, really recommend a SKU by SKU manual ad group for each individual SKU, not just one auto campaign for 1,000 SKUs.
I'd agree. I mean, the auto catch-all works really, really well for, those parts, but at the same time, that's only going to basically be your secondary layer. It's not going to bring you up to, actually getting a large percentage of the impressions that you really need to.
Lit says, Lit AF too. Steven, what skills should a brand manager hold to stand out? Okay, so at MAG, our brand managers do 2 things. One, they offer strategy, and 2, they know how to talk and manage clients. So that is literally their role. If a brand manager can't do both those things, they're not going to work out. And if they're weak in one and strong in another, they still won't work out. Like, you have to be strong in both. So that means you have to be good with communications. Our core values at My Amazon Guy are about consistent communications, being tech savvy, being strategic, those sort of things that are very, very important to helping clients understand what's going on. And then the strategy piece, like we built this nice playbook. Like, we're an NFL team. We've gone to the Super Bowl a bunch. We know what plays work. We know which plays when to run. But we turn this book over to the brand manager and say, you figure out which one is important to run on a Tuesday for this brand, and then inform the team, inform the brand. And so knowing how to read the playbook, master it, you're a quarterback in the NFL. You got to know which play, when to run and why, and then be able to articulate it to your team and execute it. And then tell the client, hey, we scored a touchdown, or hey, we fumbled the ball. Those sort of things are very, very important for a brand manager.
Agree. I got nothing to add there at the end of the day.
You can just keep moving if you don't have anything to add. It's no big deal. Sova says, hey, I saw your launch strategy, 50%, how to be premium with a premium launch. Okay. If I do so, my selling price would be $6 to $10 above top 10 Chinese sellers. How would the market react to any advice? So the going to market at 50% off. So my strategy is available for free at myamazonguy.com/price. And she's summarized this very well. Basically, launch at 50%, get 50 orders, start raising the price. And depending on how quickly you can get 50 orders at each incremental gain of price determines how quickly you'll be at maintain full price. But since it's a premium item, it may be very difficult to get 50 units in orders. So for you, you might say 10 orders, raise the price, 10 orders, raise the price. But but it's very difficult to get to that price parity with a premium item, especially if everybody else is lower price. So you may have to find yourself lowering it 60% just to get the first orders in the door. The first orders are the most critical, very, very important. Those first 10 orders will make or break the listing. If you can get those in the first 48 hours, all the better. So see our full list price guide launching a product at myamazonguy.com/price. We also have a mag school course about launching that goes into greater detail, but there's some free advice over at /price there.
Fantastic. We have our first first misspelling of the day.
Steven. Oh, is this the new stick?
Yeah.
Good to finally see the man, the myth, the legend, Steven himself. All right. Hopefully I gave that enough German potential or Spanish accent. Eric says, another question, is there such a thing as too many bullet points? Yes, especially in clothing. We have 7 to 8, but we haven't seen that Amazon limits it to 5. Not true. It's category specific. Clothing, apparel seems to have more bullets available. I think it's annoying to the consumer. I think that you're not going to gain any additional conversion points, but I do think you could miss some. And when it relates to search engine optimization, I've never seen there needing to be a 6th or 7th bullet point to improve SEO rankings. But what I have seen is that you haven't put any crawlable text in your A+ content, or your designer labeled your photos in the brand story 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of using the 100 characters of alt text available to you to fill out all of that alt text. So highly recommend crawlable text. I think it's too much to deal with a 6th, 7th, 8th bullet point. No gains there.
I'll also add to that Amazon's algorithm focuses, as far as characters within the actual bullet points, only the first 1,000. So the first 1,000 characters are essentially those they're indexing. It can index past that, but your first 1,000 are the primary when you're looking at any form of indexing from bullets. So most people and most products are not going to have much value to push past that 1,000 anyways. And so once you get past that kind of 5 bullet point limit, you're going to be kind of running on fumes, so to speak, and just repeating yourself.
Mike says, can we use the Christmas type? We did this one. Go ahead.
Oh, did we? Yeah, we did.
I skipped around while I was. Hey, real fight says, hey, Noah and Steven, with a 3. Nice. Do you have to add a VAT address when you become a VAT registered in the UK, or do they pull that information from the company's house? Also, where do you submit that information? It has been a hot minute since I've done this. I want to say I did put the address in last time I did it. Do you know, Noah?
Yeah, so you do have to, once you actually cross the VAT threshold, though. Prior to crossing the VAT threshold, you don't have to. But once you actually cross it, you have to, and they won't just pull it automatically on Amazon anymore.
And I think I saw a comment that they're coming close to their 90,000 euro threshold.
Yes, here we go.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. So if you're going to come up on that, then yeah, you're going to have to get the registration put in there.
Might as well. And by the way, guys, I just want to point out probably the biggest piece of seller news all year. It's not that they're going to start coming out with sponsored video ads, which we did a video on yesterday. The biggest piece of seller news this year is that China is going to start taxing its sellers. Do you guys have any idea how great of news that is for American sellers? Like, holy crap, the amount of disadvantage sellers have been at in America. When Americans are paying 30-35% corporate taxes on their Amazon sale profits, and China's over there, nothing, no self-reporting regulations of any kind. So and
I love that. I actually love the change that's not even self-reporting over there. It is directly Amazon is being ordered to send it to the Chinese tax bureau.
And the best news, even on top of that, they're going to go backwards in time and tax them. So you're going to see a lot of pressure on Chinese sellers right now. There are going to be a few that just disappear and probably start new accounts. Nonetheless, I'll take any win I can get at this point from Amazon, because if you press me and Noah, gun to our head right now, and said, what wins have sellers had this year from Amazon? That would be a very short answer from me. And this is probably the best one. And it doesn't even come from Amazon. It comes from the Chinese government, which you'll never hear me say that again. They cheat all the time. Viper says, I have an ASIN that Amazon magically found after 5 months of it missing. Did they take the reimbursement payments back? Yes, they do. And there is no limit on how they do that. Couldn't see it anywhere. I have 300 units of this item. I don't want to pay them. Spend too much to rank it since I will no longer be selling it. How should I handle this? Reactivate the listing and run auto campaigns. It's a giftable Q4 product. Yeah, absolutely. That's you, Viper. You nailed this one. It should sell out since it's a Q4 item. I wouldn't be too concerned about it selling out if it's a giftable type item, but you do need to get a couple of orders fast when you reactivate that listing. It's also possible Amazon forgets to charge you for those 300 units. I've seen that happen, but they could bill you a year from now and get away with it. That's just what they do.
Well, and especially nowadays with the way that they changed how they essentially will pay people as well, where they only have to pay essentially the actual manufactured cost and whatnot. But they're like, oh yeah, we'll resell it though if we find it. It's like, okay. So the fact you got it back at all means that they're coming for their money in one way or shape or form.
But don't worry, Amazon will still let customers fraudulently return your items and steal it and send back potatoes or cat litter or use diapers, which we've seen in the Washington Post stories and Seattle Times and all the other things that we've participated in. But as a consumer, I got back a $2,000 refund that was due to me from 7 years ago. And Amazon finally paid that back to me from a late return. So, you know, there are a couple of silver linings coming out here and there as it relates to refunds, but they're not usually for sellers.
Got to really thank that one accounting intern that found that credit for you.
Nah, it was a government like mandated FTC lawsuit threat, I'm sure.
Oh, always is a lawsuit.
CUNY says, do you think selling on Amazon UAE is worthwhile? No, I do not. Given the market size and competition, if you're not in Canada, start there. Germany would be next, UK following that, maybe do the rest of EU dependingly, and then Japan is the next one I would look at. Once you've mastered at least 2 continents, Japan would be third in line. I don't think UAE has ever been requested at MAG. Not a single time has it been requested.
Not true.
I think
so. We've gotten a couple of requests,
Really?
and here is my take on it. Every single time it is somebody who is having a very hard time struggling to sell on UAE, and it's simply because the fact that their product is, even if it's only $30, that is considered exceptionally expensive as far as products go within the UAE. And so you're just like, you're just not going to be able to compete over there with majority of sellers. Let's bounce over to, we do this one.
What tools do you use for profit checking? We did this one, seller board. Mike says, what should we be available in listing for upcoming events? If you can tell us step by step, it will be helpful for us. So like, I think what Mike is saying is like how to change the listing for holidays and stuff. Is that kind of your take, Noah?
I think that's, yeah.
Okay. So I think change is good, right? So static listing, bad, change, good, right? So once you understand that framework, then it comes down to, okay, how frequent and what change to make. So if your item gains additional traffic from a holiday, then maybe update the main image to add in that element. So for example, if you sell a Christmas giftable item, a little bit of, like a bow or a present gift wrap or some sort of Christmas ornament just hanging in there just to get people in the mood, it will help your clicks. It will help your conversion. On the listing, not so critical, but you could throw additional keywords in the alt text. Search engine optimization can never be hurt by this, but it's going to be a minimal gain. This is not like, if you had to pick between listing optimization or ad changes as it relates to holidays, ad changes should be 90% of your focus.
Yep, agree on the ad changes. And I do like the idea for giftables to just add like that little wrapper in the corner. And it's one of the weird things that Amazon is all year round angry about main image hacks. And yet in Christmas, they're like, oh yeah, you can add a wrapper. And they literally come out with that and say that. And so it's always odd. They're like, it's fine. It's the holidays. And so you can, but advertising is always going to be your number one focus during this time.
Moses says, I'm from Turkey. I opened an LLC in the US. All right. My registered address in Wyoming, very common, but it's not a private address. I also have an address which is private to me. Which one should I use in tax information? The one that matches right? So you want to have all of that information match up. It's when you get mismatch discrepancies, that's when they suspend accounts. So just be consistent on that delivery.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter
Amazon
what you
used to care about the virtual address thing, but they don't really care these days as long as everything matches up with your LLC and EIN information.
just need a match. Jason says, I have a shipment coming into the warehouse the next few days. Earlier than the delivery window date I had set up in Seller Central. Any issues with the early arrival? I couldn't update the dates. I would risk it, but it could be a problem. They may turn it away. They may end up burying your shipments in a, sitting in the parking lot somewhere. But you don't have a choice, man, my friend Jason. I would just roll with it, but I cannot predict the consequences is my answer on this one.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going through your own actual shipping rather than Amazon's, and that's going to be the bigger issue where they could just, as Steven said, turn your shipping carrier away or even make them just wait around. And a lot of times if they end up waiting around, you're on the hook for that bill and what they end up doing with that. So that can be a little bit of a problem, but I would still, as Steven mentioned, risk it.
For new sellers, Rosina says.
Oh, we did this one.
Okay. Lifestyle Brand says, hi guys, I have a newly launched product. Congrats. I have created a couple of PPC campaigns. That's about 20 short with higher or suggested bid. Sponsored product ones don't get much impressions. Only SBV started to work. Thoughts? You probably are not targeting enough keywords. You probably need more campaigns. I would definitely get some auto campaigns built into it. Your bids may be sufficient long-term, but short-term, you probably just need sales to get sales. So call up 3 to 5 friends, get those first 5 units ordered. Your campaigns may just start magically working following that. If that doesn't work, lower the price until sales come in, then slowly raise the price. New product launch, it's always the same story. Lower the price, get sales to get sales by any means necessary.
It really is. And it's one of those that Amazon is not the same as it was a decade ago. You have to literally try every method to get those sales, and you have to kind of pay for it in the beginning. And, we typically look at people launching, right, with like a 50% tacos and just lowering that down over the course of 30 days. Super normal. And you just need to get as much in as you can, as early and quickly as you can.
When I launched a product for Mother's Day, I spent $10,000 on PPC. I think it was $11,000. And I generated $134,000 in 30 days from that launch. And my first week, though, it was 300% ACOS. So it does work sometimes. And you just have to get sales to get sales on the Amazon platform.
Absolutely true.
Soba says, how do you launch with Vine without starting the actual sales? First of all, I'm not a fan of Vine. So I don't think you need it. And I think you just lower the price to get your first sales. Ship inventory to 3PL. And by the way, some people may not know why I'm not a fan of Vine. It's because it takes forever. You're discounting the product anyway, so just lower the price. And the review star rating average is 4.1. And the average for all reviews is 4.3. So why would you take that hit on your first reviews? What if the first Vine review is a 1 star? You're a supplement and they took the pill and says it doesn't work. And you're like, you're a female. It's a testosterone product. WTF, right? Like that's the problem with Vine reviews. Ship inventory to 3PL, making shipment from there, or can an FBA shipping direct from China and still make Vine reviews first? So I would not plan around Vine reviews. First of all, yes, you can go directly from China into FBA. The problem with a product launch is they're not going to let you ship in 1,000 of your product, which is usually the minimum order quantity, MOQ, that China forces on an average product. So I would ship it to the 3PL and then funnel it over to China, to Amazon. Yes, is it slower? Absolutely. Can you do that and still make it for Christmas? No, not at this point. So if you want to risk airdropping from China into FBA because you have no other choice, that is the seller way. You just got to roll the dice sometimes. Not ideal though.
Agree. Very much agree. If anyone wants at any point in time to have a good chuckle while also understanding why it is you shouldn't use Vine reviewers, we made a video a couple weeks ago, about a month ago actually now, about Amazon Vine, and it was down at the time. And that got into some Vine communities. And just go through and read some of these comments at some point in time, and you will see the insanity that is the average Vine reviewer, and why you should not be expecting a Vine reviewer to leave a good or positive review ever. Even though they claim everything they review is positive, they are quite insane. So
the Vine reviews, I know there's at least one Vine reviewer on this call, but hopefully you're self-aware. They are freaking entitled, and you are putting the entire success of your brand on an entitled person who wants near free shit.
You don't understand. They have to report the products as a tax credit at the end of the year. It's the worst thing ever. It's not just free, it's taxed.
It's taxed, and then they, their computer and their internet and all the other things zeroed out. So yeah,
exactly.
it's free. It's just a nice loophole for the government. Viper says, how long does that 10% in branded sales last for? My guess would be 6 to 12 months. I'm not sure on the official.
It's 12 months technically. So it's your first year of selling. You can, if you get a rep, you technically can utilize it if you are already had an account that's over a year old, but you just have had less than $5,000 in sales in the last 12 months. You could also get access to it.
Travis says, have a question about shipping template for FBM. Oh, I love shipping template questions. We are seeing that we lose the buy box to a competitor as our shipping timeline shows 16 to 18, and theirs shows just the 16th, not a range. How to inspect? Second parter? No? Okay.
I don't see a second part.
All right. So I can extrapolate. With Amazon bringing up price history. Nope. Okay. I can extrapolate here. So basically, I'm guessing you guys send it from the same manufacturer and they're winning the buy box. That's kind of my guesstimation here. So there is a way to set the template. Keep in mind, there is a geolocation from where it's coming from. That's not necessarily the manufacturer's location or the shipping location. That could be the seller's location in setting that. And then in addition to that, in the template, you can set it up by state on the shipping timeframes. So if you know you can get it to 16 days in Texas, but you've got a range there, make an adjustment. Okay. There's a thing called latency. Shipping latency is how long it takes you to ship the item out. So set that to 0 or 1 if you can get it out that quick. And then the shipping time frame, which is different from latency, is how quickly it ships while in transit. Totally different. So my guess here is the latency is probably like 10 days, and then a 6 to 8 to get it there. That's probably what's happening here, something along those lines. And you'll just have to trim those margins wherever you're comfortable.
Yeah, the thing I also will add in there is that Amazon made an update, I believe, late last year, where essentially anytime that a seller doesn't automatically put in their own handling time, Amazon will just assume your handling time. And a lot of times I've seen that to be very wrong, like 3+ days for your handling. So you'll have to go to your actual shipping settings and set a manual handling time versus letting Amazon set it.
Deepak says, with Amazon bringing out list price history, won't it mess with your recommendations of launching with a 50% lower price? I feel like it would make it hard to raise prices. Okay, no, here's why. And it's because that history, while true on the launch, Amazon wants you to have a lower price when you launch. First of all, they reward sales with more sales, and it's not hard to raise the price. You just do it at 5-10% at a time, right? So if you want to launch at $50 and your goal is to get to $100, by week 1, you could be at $55, $60, no problem. By week 6, 7, 8, you could be at the $100 mark. Amazon's not going to punch that if you do it in incremental gains. And the benefits far outweigh any potential negative perceptional disadvantages, which truly do not exist. They are perceptional issues. They're not real issues when it comes to raising price. Now, if you sell the same item at $100 for a year and then go to lower it to $50, you'll have way more problems with that history at a year versus just the launch itself. With Amazon bringing up price, okay, there was a second one for me. Go ahead to the next.
The second part of this is actually they're asking about any Black Friday deals for mag school courses. And I will say, reach out to podcast with Anes at myamazonguy.com, Deepak, and we'll hit you up with a mag school promo code.
Anybody who writes a Trustpilot review for us or a Google Maps review for us, I am happy in the next 24 hours to give you a free mag school course. Okay. So maybe you've written us a Google Maps review, but you haven't done Trustpilot or the opposite. This is good for a one-time 24-hour offer We'll give you a mag school course. You can write the review truthful, your experience watching the podcast. That's an acceptable review. Could be a review about the mag school courses you've already taken. All of that's in scope, no problem. And we'll be happy to give you a mag school course for your time. Appreciate that. Do not incentivize reviews on Amazon, though. You will get in trouble for that. Do not put stars in your product inserts. You will get in trouble for that. They will yank your inventory and ship it back. But Trustpilot link in the comment section, or you can Google Trustpilot review my Amazon guy to find it. And then Google Maps, just type in Google Maps my Amazon guy, or click that link if it lets you.
There we go. All right. And then we are on.
Lit says, do I need to add list price and a sales price? Yes. Yes, you do. And the sales price is the one that's optional. The list price is the one that I highly encourage and recommend you do.
We'll give you strike through.
Any thoughts on AMC and how to utilize that for our advantage? Didn't see great results tested for a few audiences, new to brand cart abandons, and more. So test everything. Anytime Amazon's coming out with new sort of advertising opportunities, they're all worth testing. But sometimes let the agencies test and then see what they say before you waste your ad dollars on it. But in terms of AMC, I think Noah's currently scrolling off screen right now to a video he's going to queue up. So take it away, Noah.
Yeah, I currently am kind of very much into AMC. So one of the biggest things that I would encourage for you guys, we just posted a video. I'm trying to find it right now on AMC. Here we go. This one right here. If you guys go over and you check out our best Q4 and Black Friday Amazon advertising strategies, I go into a ton of in-depth on AMC here. We also have another AMC video coming out, I believe, next week on Monday, that goes through all of the different audience types and how to utilize them best and showing some results from that. So it's one of the things that...
Can you drop a link in there, Gilbert, for the audience?
Yes, please, Gil. And then, yeah, essentially AMC, in my opinion, is one of those things that I think not many sellers that anybody I've talked to is not really utilizing it. They don't know how to utilize it. And so if you can get yourself familiarized with it and how to use it really, really well right now, you're going to have a leg up comparatively to the majority of other people, because not a lot of people are using it to their benefit right now.
Yeah. So Gary V long on record saying go where people are under indexing, under bidding, under spending. However, the counter to that is it may be completely ineffectual spend. So test small when starting.
There you go.
Lifestyle says, I have a problem to change the country of establishment for my business from US to CA. Amazon won't let me change it because my account can't pass the CA verification. Any idea? No idea on this one. I think first of all, I wouldn't change it unless you really had to. And second, why can't you pass the CA verification if you have that document? What's the problem? Is the identity not matching? Would be my first question.
Yeah, and the changing of country of establishment, I get this question pretty often as well from people reaching out. And the issue there is that a lot of times you actually can't. So Amazon, even if you transfer accounts, I see it at most often in that case where people will buy an account from somebody else or just a full business. And they are like, well, I can't do anything now because I don't have an account or my account is from X country and I am not. That Amazon very much wants to keep country of establishment to be the exact one that you initially set the account up in. It's rare that they will change it over, even if you have the correct documentation showing their business is in a new country now.
Steven,
we did that one.
How to analyze virtual bundle sales and report it so that I can pull. So the last time I looked at this, they just take the virtual bundle sales and put it into the child ASIN level. So you can't do this. Has that changed at all, Noah?
Not really. So yeah, it's still essentially the child level now. You can, I will say, with the new virtual bundle packs for pack sizes on one ASIN, that's the only way you can do that. But for virtual bundles as a whole, no, it's just still on the child side.
Okay. Launched 5 days ago at $74.99, 10K impressions. Not bad. 0.2 CTR, 0% conversion. Oof. Dropped it to 49 as per mag recommendation. My PPC guy paused past campaigns, launched new one, getting 2,500 impressions. So impressions went down. The CTRs increased to 0.4 with 0 reviews, but I'm still waiting for a sale. Yes, you're not going to like my answer though. Lower the price more until you get the sale and then start raising the price and call up 3 friends to get the first sales, because believe it or not, just having one sale will double your conversion likelihoods. So you need sales to get sales on Amazon. You got to lower the price. You have no other choice.
When you call those friends, make sure they don't go direct to your product link. Have them actually search for your product too.
I'm a little more hesitant on that these days. The search, find, buy strategies, Amazon's gotten wise on those.
I'd take that over somebody getting dinged for friends and family though. Review.
Also, Amazon doesn't provide advertised product report. How can we tell which product performed well in a headline ad? I don't know if that's possible.
Well, I guess the only way you would be able to would be if you actually take the campaign level report and then you just break it out by how many sales were generated per ASIN. But there's not like a direct report, I think, that's actually going to show which one of those. It's just going to show all of the data, and then you have to break it out yourself.
So I'm trying to extrapolate like why they would ask this question. And the only thing I can think of is, do I have the right products in the headline ad?
Yeah.
And so how would you test that? Well, you'd create 2 campaigns with only one product different, targeting the same keywords, and see which one does better. So that would be the fastest way to answer your question with no report work.
There you go. They have another question.
Would you be able to share the salary range for a brand manager? So it's a very large range. Yes, anywhere from 30,000 all the way up to 200,000. That's an absurd large range because we have this bucketed at tiered levels for every layer and level for how much value, how much MRR you can manage. But the key to success here is how much history at an agency do you have? Can you answer customer questions? Are you self-starter, self-sufficient? And how many clients can you manage? The more clients you manage, the higher MRR you can manage as a brand manager. And MRR stands for monthly reoccurring revenue. Then we're going to pay you a lot more to do that.
Bingo.
I get complaints from customers saying the product is open and seems used. Yes, from those fraudulent customer returns. Yes, we all love those. They leave bad reviews. Due to that, I suspect Amazon's putting open used returns back in inventory. Can I remove them? Yes, there's a setting inside of FBA. So you go to the FBA settings and you can disable customer returns going back into inventory. You can also contest those reviews, by the way, and almost all of those are removable. Will it happen on your first ticket? Probably not. Will it happen on your 10th ticket? Hopefully. Will it happen by your 20th ticket? Statistically, yes. So it might take 20 tickets to get those reviews removed, but I would do it. It's worth the VA labor.
It's a long process. You gotta get the right person at the right time on the right day who just had their coffee.
Yeah. What is your Black Friday strategy? Since we see a decline in sales after the event, do you offer coupons and discounts, or do you use retargeting? AMC is mentioned again. So I actually raised prices on Black Friday personally. And I do not see a sales dip for most people, like comparatively. Obviously, Cyber Monday is the best day of the year, but like Tuesday after Cyber Monday, it's still pretty sexy. And you can raise your prices and still have a same conversion rate, typically, from my experience. So I do not recommend couponing at all during Black Friday to Christmas Eve. I think it's ineffectual. I think it's a waste of money. I think you can sell it full price and price plus 20%, price plus 30%. I have people who have thanked me for making them an extra $100,000 in net profits because I told them to raise prices for Black Friday into Christmas. And they fought me on it, and then they did it. And then they sent me an email and said, thank you for the $100,000 in net profits. We would like to hire you for more work. And so trust me, raise prices.
Yep. And the one thing on the retargeting is, if you're going to do any form of retargeting afterwards, it's just going to be a huge audience group. You're likely not going to see a lot of the same customers that are purchasing on Black Friday coming back to the platform. Only real thing you can do from a retargeting aspect is like brand card banners. Go after those just to try and pick up that incremental sale that you maybe missed from that time frame. Hey, Noah.
Says, this one's for you. Hey, Noah, just saying hello. Hope you're doing well. Also, hello, Steven. Thank you very much, Aizen. Wit says, would you be able to share your playbook for brand managers? Yes, we sell that for, I think, $350. Gilbert, can you put that into the chat? It is the very playbook our brand managers use. And it is my brainchild. I spent a lot of time building this. It has all of my best ideas. So if you're looking to become a brand manager at another agency and you want to one up the current agency and what they're doing. This playbook will knock your socks off. Also good for self-starter brands who don't want to hire an agency but want all of our plays. Highly recommend it. In PPC for new launch, which one would you prefer? Higher CTR, even with costly CPC, or lower CPC, even if that pulls the CTR down? There really is no right or wrong answer to this, but obviously higher CTR is easier to optimize. If you're in a lower CPC and low CTR category, if you can disrupt it, you'll have a bigger win. But there's lower clicks to work with, lower impressions, and a lot of challenges with that. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or another, but increasing CTR is the fastest way to improve sales on Amazon. And that's something that we have won handedly in the market. We are the trendsetters on this question over the last 6 years, and everybody is now saying the same thing that Mag says, which means we were right.
It's always a good thing to feel the right answer. But I think CTR, I would probably pick the higher CTR, more costly cost per click, just from the aspect of, larger category. Yes, it's going to be more expensive in, the short run, but long run, you're going to end up making more just from more customers as well.
Did you use tools for data analysis or just manually down reports and analyze data at your agency? So we do have some tools, but by and large, we endorse none of them. And we recommend manual reports with macros, especially for advertising changes. All AI software F's up your campaign structures. All of them. And here's your litmus test. Labor Day weekend, impressions go down. What happens? AI software raises bids, even though conversion's down. It doesn't make any sense. I cannot believe to you that even today in 2025, I've been complaining about this for 7 years. No AI software has solved this. And it blows my mind that people are wasting money in softwares. It literally defeats their whole purpose. So I do recommend doing 2 to 3 weekly manual changes on advertising, doing bulk sheet reports and macros to assist, but I do not recommend using AI software of any kind to make the bid changes, because they run rogue and they defeat their own purpose.
I'm going to add on to not just AI software, because I think it's making a comeback, but rule-based automation as well. It just doesn't work. That's a large part of the reason you're going to get, essentially low impressions. Oh, we need to raise bids. It doesn't work at the end of the day. You need to actually know what you're doing and take context of the time of year, specific dates, specific holidays into account.
Kazulace, it's a hard one to say. My new product just got into Amazon. Congratulations. Amazon flagged 120 units out of 600 as distributor damaged. Sent an email saying to remove the inventory following a safety recall. I see no problem. What to do? So ask them for a copy of the safety recall, but likely you're going to have to get those items returned back and then file claims. It's really hard to fight this particular issue, but you can also ask for an inspection. You can ask for anything. Doesn't mean they're going to do it, but you can ask. And I would be on record stating that there is no safety recall. There is no damage. Please show photos of said damage before you return those items to me. They will likely ghost you and not respond. Then you'll get the items returned. You'll then look at the items, say these are perfectly fine, then file claims against Amazon for their false report. And then they'll deny those claims, and then you'll have to fight for those claims. And by the time you've done all of this, you're going to realize the amount of time you spent on this exceeds the amount of damage that they have done. And that is the life of an Amazon seller, if I may say so.
My favorite part in there as well is after getting back all of that product and inspecting all of it and seeing that there is no damage, you then relabel that product and you send it back in, and they accept it with zero issue or consequence whatsoever.
Yes, that is the life. Angel says, I created some campaigns. They initially gained a lot of traction. They generated strong sales, but also spent a lot. I hear that a lot. Then I started optimizing, lowering the bids, adding negations, and the bids may now be over-optimized. As a result, the campaign is losing sales, but still continues to spend. What can be done about this? Should I just pause the campaign? Do not pause the campaign unless it exceeds your ACoS threshold significantly. It is easier to co-opt a current campaign with sales history and fix it than to start over. This is especially true with auto campaigns, but usually a broad match or even exact match can be fixed. Exact, probably the easiest to fix. Broad match, probably the hardest to fix. Auto, it's really hard to mess up an auto campaign. If you're having to fix auto campaigns, give me a call and hire an agency at that point, because all you do on auto campaigns is add negations for the most part. So these are some generic advice tips. it's sometimes you could make a new campaign, but also leave the old one there and test that as well. But by and large, just continue to optimize, make micro bid changes 2 to 3 times a week, and you'll directionally fix it over time. There's seasonality issues. There's so many variables to speak to. But we have a lot of free PPC tips at myamazonguy.com/PPC. One of those may spur an idea in addition to what I just said.
Bingo.
Azen says, I'm pretty sure Vine reviewers are not necessarily users of the product outside of the Vine program. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You are correct, sir. And that's why you shouldn't use them. They don't care about your product or the category. They just want free shit. Lit says, does sponsored TV help improve brand search term volume? Yes. Why? Because they see it on TV. They don't remember how to get there, but they remember the brand name and they go search the brand name. It's just like UGC content on TikTok. I ran a TikTok campaign for Age of Sage back in the day. And then all of a sudden my brand search went from 400 a week to 4,000 a week. And it was 100% because of TikTok ads. Same thing here, sponsored TV, 100%.
Really big thing as well as sponsored TV is don't trust any of the VCPM data to be actually accurate within this either. A lot of times people end up searching it afterwards and it will not actually be correlated directly to VCPM for it. So you will see, yes, a giant spike in your branded search. That is going to be your indicator that your sponsored TV campaigns are doing well, not necessarily the actual data from that sponsored TV campaign.
Jason says, actually was just able to adjust those delivery window dates. All good now. Yes. Woo! I love to see immediate assistance on a call, whether we sparked the idea or gave the answer. I'll take credit either way. Congratulations, Jason. Glad to hear that. Hopefully you make more sales this weekend.
Let's see. Here we go.
Keep Bro says, top of search is giving us good conversions. Common. But we are getting many clicks and 0 conversions from rest of search and product pages. How can we control or reduce traffic from those placements? Well, what I wish Amazon would give you is the ability to bid down those sections. They do not do that. So the only solution to this is to set a mediocre bid and have a high bid modifier for top of search. This, unfortunately, is less effective than it was 4 or 5 years ago. So your results may vary, but in general, what you can do and probably realistically get away with is a 20 to 30% bid modifier for top of search up and have decent, predictable results. So I would try that first. Fail that, you may try more aggressive techniques.
Big thing as well, when you're doing this, make sure your campaign is not set to up and down bidding. Make sure it is set to down only. Otherwise, it will just not matter, and you will still go to rest of search and product pages while spending tons more than you want to on top of search.
They bid modifiers all stack. And there's one other thing they stack with, and that is the time of day and day of week bidding as well. Those stack as well. So be careful. You have been warned. Viper says, I'm nervous about product inserts, but I want to gather emails. I would be nervous if I were you too. Do not mention reviews. Do not have any stars or smiley faces on said inserts. Okay to get emails, but don't do anything related to reviews. I want to leave a recipe book for one of my products, but they need to give an email to receive it. Yes, this is fine. Is it scary? Still scary, but just make sure no smiley faces, no stars, no review mention. Do not request a review in any shape or form on the insert or in any email communication following that cookbook. You do all that, you might be okay. Still scary though.
Always scary.
Hazen says, I botched my launch. Common. Built to history, price $59.99. Watch case, higher than my competitors. Do I relaunch, drop the price, and get sales velocity? I would try a price reduction first. Just do 50% off, see how fast the sales come in, and then slowly raise it. You may not need to do anything else. You may not need to change the PPC. You may not change the images. Try that first. But the other thing I would test is a new main image. That is the fastest way to correct sales for any product ever. Just make it clickable and give them more information. So it's a watch case. Show the product in and out of the case. Show what kind of watches it's for. Is it for Rolexes? Is it for Batman Rolexes specifically? Why? Why is it for certain watches versus others? Make the main image answer all of a customer's questions before they click the product. Your conversion will also go up. And if that doesn't work, price, no question. Jason says, hey guys, lots of great info. Really appreciate it. Question, my Chinese supplier has an FDA document with my Wyoming address. They are a legit Chinese company with great products. There's no such thing as a legit Chinese company. Just kidding. Just kidding. But this is a concern. All right. What's next? Buyer. That was that. Okay. They were just saying, okay, it was back to the other question. I think it was a tie-in. I don't have any concerns about addresses personally, as long as everything matches. That's my catch-all answer. Should solve 90% of questions related to addresses.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's actual FDA documentation at the end of the day, and you can verify that the address matches what they're saying, and you can verify the documentation, you'll be fine. You never want to upload any faulty or altered documentation, so I wouldn't go down that route. Just make sure that it all actually matches, and as long as it does, you'll be okay.
How many clicks do you wait to negate a search term in broad and phrase? Consensus is 20 clicks, give or take, depending on category, price tag, etc. But you can also do this based on directional clicks. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I am selling a water bottle and there's a keyword related to clean natural spring water. Okay, now that's the keyword we care about. We only got 3 clicks though. Well, natural water also has 10 clicks, and spring water also has 10 clicks, and we have 0 sales across all of these. You can use the filter to determine if there's a directional idea that this whole category is not going to work for us. Now, obviously, if I'm selling Icelandic water and none of those work, we're in trouble. But the idea here is you can get up to those 20 clicks by combining multiple related phrases together. If you can wait for the full 20 clicks, all the better. But sometimes you can get pretty good idea. The search term report should be looked at once a week for every auto and broad, sometimes phrase campaigns as well.
Yep. It's always going to come down at the end of the day as well to what your cost per click is. It's a lot easier to accept at the end of the day if you can afford a $10 cost per click comparatively to a 10-cent cost per click. Granted, I haven't seen a 10-cent cost per click in years.
Dude, I was one of the first people to advertise on Amazon, and I was getting 2-cent click position 1 rice cooker sales, and I was printing money for my company. And those were the days. I wish I could take my money and knowledge back in time. Besides investing in Bitcoin, the next thing I would do is open an Amazon, right? All right. Austin says, buyer counterfeit complaint. I have authorization to sell. Sent invoices that my CA seller permit store name with my address, but my Amazon store name is my name, same address. Rejected. Help. Again, this is a match issue. You have to be precise on all documents matching the account. And so either fix the letter or fix the account. You can change the account to match the letter. Believe it or not, it works.
Mm-hmm. Letter's probably a little bit easier, though, to do a changeover on. Long term, at least.
Can be. It depends on who wrote the letter. Is the letter a year old?
That's very true.
Do you still have good terms with that company? All right. Did you violate their map pricing, and that's why you can't get it to match? Because I've seen those stories. Sanu sells. I am trying to evaluate which model will be most beneficial for us in 2026. 1P, 3P, hybrid approach for our supplements, health, and organic food products. I'm leaning towards hybrid, but I'm unsure how we should divide the product portfolio across each channel, specifically which product types are better suited for 1P versus 3P within our category. Any guidance or examples would be helpful. Anything under $10, send that to 1P. That's a pretty easy standard. Low price items do better in 1P. Bulky items probably better in 1P as well, just because of the shipping costs that are involved in that. But we favor 3P heavily in almost every other instance. There's a lot of reasons for that. Your distribution network should solve some of this question, though. So for most people who are in both 1P and 3P, you should generally lean heavier towards 1P unless Amazon is screwing you over. So usually what happens is the 1P brand will come to us and say, we're getting screwed by Amazon. What can we do? And we're like, go to 3P. And they're like, we don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, pick your poison. Do you want to be screwed by Amazon? Continue 1P or go over here to 3P. It's more work, yes, but you can control your pricing. Which of those two worlds sounds better? Then they pick. In your case, if you're having a good deal on both, then you probably should be heavier on 1P until you don't have a good deal on 1P. And in those instances, sell on 3P. The wider your distribution network, the more likely 1P makes more sense as well. There are probably other instances, and in your particular case, this is the first time that I'm going to recommend a paid coaching call. I would recommend hiring Noah, myself, or someone else over at myamazonguy.com/coaching, because the question that you are asking is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. You need somebody to come in and give you some personalized advice on this one. But my generic advice hopefully helps spur the right decision tree.
Yeah, I'd also recommend it within there because they had mentioned the aspect that like organic food products and food products in general, if you have the opportunity to go 1P, always go 1P. It is anything consumables in general is always going to be better on 1P just because one, usually you're going to end up making more over time. And two, it's just a lot. Yeah, better margins, and you're just going to have a harder time when it comes to things like FBA and just shipping in general. So 1P is just going to be kind of your bread and butter there.
But to be clear, we like 3P over 1P for every other reason. You just have it one off. That's why your situation is unique. New Roll says, what's the success key in Amazon FBA? Sales. You need sales to get sales. So how do you get sales? Well, CTR and price, which you've heard us talk about today. Those are the two levers that are easiest to pull. Following that, it's traffic and conversion. So advertising, PPC, and SEO, and also CTR, because that also generates traffic. And then on the conversion side, CTR shows up again because CTR affects conversion. A lot of people don't understand that, but it does. Because when consumers are at the product that they were trying to find, they're more likely to buy it. I know it's rocket science, but when you say it out loud, sometimes it throws people off. And then your category, your design stack, filling in all of the images, filling in the A+ content, the brand story, the alt text, so the keywords to find more traffic, all those good things. Those are all the success keys in Amazon. A lot of things we could add in addition to that, like picking the right product, picking the right margin and pricing and all those, but those are secondary. And I think everybody already understands those.
Agree.
Why does my listing lose the Amazon's choice badge when I raise the price? Because Amazon wants you to lower the price.
Essentially that. A lot of times it's going to be that as well. Amazon wants to have the Amazon choice within a certain section. Amazon choice, that I actually did a video recently. There was a guy who did a reaction to my video around the different Amazon badges, and we brought it up really recently. And so definitely something to go check out to understand what goes into effect when you're talking about any type of Amazon badge whatsoever.
So John says that the window is so small, and I'm curious, I know we have a vertical ability and a horizontal ability. John, are you looking at our vertical version?
He's definitely looking at the vertical. It's a first week test for the vertical. Give us some slack.
But like we're displaying in both. So like, can the consumer pick between the two, or how does that work?
Yeah, they should be able to. They should be able to have choice between which one they go to. And we have those labeled, by the way, John. So you should have clicked one and chosen.
I'm going to show my screen because I think I figured it out. So share screen, looking over here. Okay. So over on the channel, you have mobile version and horizontal version. These are the two options. I'm not showing the right one.
Yeah, no, hold on. It's mine. Let me do this, and then you should be able to add yours in.
All right, there we go. All right, we got an inception. So apparently I pulled the wrong one over, but here we go. So you can see here, mobile view, horizontal view. Click the one you want to watch. You get the idea.
There we go. Somebody's asking about your cam.
Which cam do I use? So I have used all kinds of cameras over the years, and I have switched back to a Logitech today with a 180 view. I will post the specs to my full camera setup for you so that you guys can go find out all of my stuff. I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but I have it documented.
I think you use a MX Brio like I do.
It is. It's an MX Brio. Yeah.
Difference between quality here is that Steven also has very professional lighting setup. I need to obviously optimize my lighting.
And Noah is shooting against a window, which is the #1 rule. You should never do that.
We're trying to get a house, okay? It'll have a dedicated recording studio.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Buying a house right now is a good idea, by the way, guys. And not because of Trump's 50-year terms coming out, which are ridiculous to say out loud. It's because there are more houses on market today than there have been since 2018 and for sale. So if you guys are looking at a house, good time to go look at that. Probably even better next year, to be honest.
Tell that to the GR housing market.
Yeah. Grand Rapids.
Not the best. Yeah. Not the best.
All right, you take this question. I'm going to look for my Brio.
Sure. Megan asks, your AI software comment is so true about how it messes up campaigns. I truly believe that's why my sales suffered under agency management because they used AI tools to manage my PPC. My listing grew rapidly month over month, but an ad agency pushed PPC over organic, tanking ranking, sales, and profit. I've taken back control and shut down bad campaigns. What's the best high-level strategy to rebuild? I actually really like this one, especially because we see this all the time. We actually have a couple of different pages that go over this, and it's such a common thing where people will over-index on advertising and essentially just no longer care about their organic. And if you work with any agency that does AI advertising, 9 times out of 10, that is going to be the case. And you can easily see that by tracking on Cerebro. From a high level strategy to actually rebuild as well in this scenario, I would really focus right now on essentially just optimizing for your SEO. Do monthly changes within your SEO. Make sure you're actually getting that indexing. So alt text, as Steven loves to call out all the time, is going to be a really, really important and impactful area for you. Secondarily to that, optimize for your actual click-through rate. So actually update your image right now and try and see if you can get a higher click-through rate. You're going to see an initial drop when you stop doing all this advertising. And so you want to make sure to essentially get as much traffic in right now as you can while you are essentially doing the rebuild. So, Steven?
Rosina says, my supplement product is doctor designed. You can say this on the listing and totally be fine. Just don't say it cures cancer without FDA documents and PDFs loaded. But doctor designed, that's a really safe claim. Just literally show a picture of the doctor who designed it and their name. Totally safe. I have no concerns here.
Bingo.
June says, which Charleston housing prices were coming down? They will. Just wait.
Eventually.
They're going to come down next year. I have a lot of reasons for why I think that's going to happen that I will not share, but they will.
Let's see. Actually, it says we can see on our end that John, with his comment earlier, we can actually see who is watching on the vertical view versus the non-vertical view, and John is in fact watching the vertical view. There's a little phone next to his name. He also said, Noah, great background placement. Where did you ever get such a great idea to position your tree and sign like that? Big fan. I came up with it. Definitely was all me, and no one else gave me that idea or that information at all.
We never get ideas from John Aspinall, former MAG employee that we put on the map. Never did. We also did not make John the CTR guy. That was definitely not a thing.
And it looks like we are basically out of questions. So I think we are at time and at wrapping. Steven, I appreciate you joining us and basically taking over for my voice.
Yeah, your voice box got a little rested. If you guys like today's show, show us some love. Give us a like on the video and add a comment and say Amazon FBA. That'll help us rank the video for Amazon FBA terms, which help us get some more business. We appreciate that. You can leave us a Trustpilot review or Google Maps review today, and email podcast to my Amazon guy, and we will give you a free Mag School course. So if you're looking for your next action, you want a free Mag School course to help you with your sales, we have courses on product launching. We have courses on reactivating a listing and fixing a listing or getting sales to come back and revive them. Even a course on that. We have a CTR course, design course, BBC course, and many more. These are the actual tutorials that our own employees use to run over 450 brands at My Amazon Guy. My name is Stephen Pope. I am the founder of My Amazon Guy. It's my pleasure to co-host with Noah Wickham today over in Michigan, Grand Rapids. I'm over here in Atlanta, Georgia. And you guys all have a happy Turkey Day coming up here in a couple weeks and a Merry Christmas following that. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, everybody.